Hi, I'm Leslie Helpert, and the following is part of a series called The Mechanics of Self-Trust. If you don't have the entire series of nearly 20 conversations yet, you can get them all for free by simply going to dynamicvoicetraining.com/conversation series.html.
I am so honored and really happy to have this time to introduce a relic human on this planet, Afrika Bibang. So first, hi Afrika.
Hi, Leslie. Hi. Thanks for having me here.
My pleasure, my honor. So I'm just going to say a little bit of my version of your biography, then we're going to fill all that in because there's so much I don't know. I met Afrika basically for a project, almost on stage. I nearly met you on backstage, or that's my first memory of you. And we had the opportunity to sing for one of the Velvet Underground singers, John Cale, at the Primavera Sound Festival in Barcelona. And so we were about to jump on stage for like 5,000 people or something.
Wow.
It was
awesome.
And I was so amazed by your beauty and your artistry and your ability to like completely perform. We were singing background singing, myself, Afrika, and another wonderful woman, Sinead Savage. And, I've always been this messy background singer, and Afrika, you just had all the moves, and you had just such great heart. So, and then, I've watched you in this amazing project, Johnny Freelance Experience, and you moved to Japan for a long period of time, and you were literally just rocking Japan, because also, as we'll get into, you not only are an incredible singer and artist, but part of your artistry is that you are a photographer. And when I say photography, I mean analog photo. Yeah. And Johnny Freelance Experience, there's two analog photographers in the trio. So the two of you are always taking these photographs, and your pictures are just exquisite. And I would see you being like outfitted by Japanese fashion creators, and just love. And I know you've traveled around the world with your music. So because we're talking about self-trust in this big interview series with so many different experts in different fields, I really want to talk about how you listened to your path as an artist, and you made that a priority in your life from my perspective. And that always came first for you, beyond like needing to stay in one place. And you've traveled so much, and you've just always been really dedicated to giving 100% to your art. So I want to start from the beginning. You are currently in your original home base in the Basque Country in Bilbao, yeah?
Yeah.
And Bilbao?
I'm in a small... No, I'm in Algorta. It's 11 kilometers far from Bilbao, from the center. I'm on the coast, very beautiful place, with the beach, nature, small place, small town, really cool. So I grew up here, and that was pretty tough, because I don't know if I ever told you that we were the first Black family in the area, So it was like, wow, all the time, everyone like looking at you, staring at you, pointing at you, and then you were the weird, me and my family. And then I don't know how I managed, but now I got my place. I got a lot of friends. I make music. People knows me about my music, and I made it. I made it.
That firstly, I love Bilbao. I performed there a couple of times. The music scene, the love for music in Bilbao, jazz music. The Bilbao 360, right? 360 was going on there. Just different music at the museum. And I'm just remembering from touring in there that the people really, just like in much of Europe, really listen to music there. They really care. So do you think that in a way music transcended some of those cultural differences. So your love of music allowed you to find a way to communicate between many cultures.
That's it. And to make what I'm doing is totally different. The music here is different. It's like more rock. These days is also like cumbia and those things, reggaeton more, and the rock music, hard punk. And I'm coming with this project like black music, singing in Basque, in Euskera. So that's like people went crazy. They didn't get it. They didn't understand because there's no soul culture here, not R&B and those things. You know, they're more like Basque with different more folk music, typical from here, chiquitisa and those things, really for Basque people. So in the beginning, it was a little bit difficult for me to get my place here because they didn't understand what I was doing. And now it's like lately people is they kind of like it. I'm starting like playing more and more and becoming more popular with my black music style in Basque. So it's funny. It's different.
Awesome. When did you start this particular project?
Before I moved to Barcelona, I already had my album here. I released my album 2004. And before that, I was singing with a really famous band here, like hard rock, punk, super famous band. And I was doing like backing vocals and dancing and doing my thing. And after this, I released my album completely different than I was doing with this band. Then I moved to Barcelona, and from there, you know the rest. I was Ibiza, blah, blah, Japan, London, Paris, traveling all the time. Then I came back like 2 years ago, and I decided to take my work again, take it back. But it was like 14 years after that. So people was confused again, like they didn't remember me. Many of them not, most of them, yeah, they do. But I have to make my own way again. So I have to work again on it. And that's what I'm
A
doing.
piece of being an artist is, and when we're moving and we're following these project opportunities, and then the projects, just like any relationship, just end at some point. And in a way, we know that when we get in a project, we know. And in some ways, when we get married, we might not think it's going to end, but when we get in a project, pretty much we can expect before we die, there's a good chance.
Yeah, you know it. Just that you feel it, right? It's like, okay, I know it's not gonna take long. So, but what with the Johnny Freelance, it was like I've been with this guy for 7 years, something like this.
And are you still active together? Because you have an energy, the three of you. Wow. So what are you still planning on playing it all, or how is that working?
With the Johnny Freelance, you mean? With Yeah, we don't play much right now. We're playing like we have our own projects. We live in separate places. The trumpet player we used to play with, Nick, is not playing with us anymore. Moved back to California. So the band was a little bit like, okay, we didn't know what to do. We started playing with Mateusz Adamczyk, a violin player from Poland, and we try to keep it alive. You know, we don't play as much as we used to do. We play like 3-4 gigs a year, and that's enough right now. We've been playing too much. It was so intense. Like, wow, too much. I love it. I really love it. I enjoyed it a lot. But now I think it's time to do other things, you know? Like the relationship is like coming to an end. But time.
So one of the cool things about that, as challenging as it is, right? As challenging as being, I mean, and I want to go back into that, being somebody who's so different from everybody else around us. I mean, in a way, we're all very different from anyone. But when we have something so obvious that makes us be treated differently or looked at differently, we really get a sense of, wow, I am a person that is not blending into what's been here, and we get this opportunity, and either really it's break or make. And you found that thing, music. So when did you find music?
Well, I think it's been there always since I was little. It's been always music in my place, my parents' house. We used to dance every weekend. During the week, we had to study. Weekend it was free for music. My dad has a lot of vinyls there, a big collection of African music. We used to listen and dance, all of us, and then the Jackson Five and all the Motown, all these things, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, Sade, and all these things. So we used to play and make like, okay, now it's my turn, and I was singing. So I've been singing always and dancing and acting. That's what my mother told me. And it's been always there, but I decided to take it like professionally, like when I was 18, something like this, 18 years old.
Yeah, and you also you are an actor, and you've been in, multiple different, I know that you've been in some movies, and I don't know that side of you as well.
I'm not an actress.
You are.
I've been in movies. Yeah, I used to act a lot every day, I'm not an actress. It was a coincidence. These people from California that came here to Barcelona, and we made this movie, The Wine of Summer. And I was with Nick together, but it's been twice in my life. I don't consider myself like an actress. I can do stuff. I always say yes. Like with you, I'm here. I don't even like doing this, but say, yes, why not? So I give it a try, and then maybe I'm an actress and I didn't know.
Yeah.
You never know. If you try,
I want to.
You will never know.
Too. I feel like I'm an actor, and I'm just waiting for my film because I've gotten a very late start, but I know that that's my real calling.
You are an actress. You can be whatever you want to be.
Totally.
Yes.
So exactly. When you describe this scene of your childhood, it just sounds like, regardless of whatever challenges were, that you found this place with your family to celebrate your culture, because honestly, all music comes through Black culture, and and you had, your family, your parents were the first Black immigrants in the Basque Country, and they came from Guinea and Equatorial Guinea. Tell me where Equatorial Guinea is, because my geography sucks.
West Coast, nobody knows it. It's just on the Golfo de Guinea. That's what they say.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really small. It's close to Cameroon, Gabon. If this is Africa, when the intersection just with Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, blah, 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 and then it comes here. It's super small, super small.
Like a long time ago, I was going to do this African ballet dance immersion, and it was off on an island off of Guinea. Is this because there's like a real famous ballet dance company out of Guinea.
But maybe you're talking about Guinea-Conakry.
Yep.
Because there is 3 Guineas. And so the one you're talking about maybe is the French one, and mine is the Spanish one, the only Spanish colony in whole Africa.
Are they close to each other, the 3 different Guineas?
No. But, okay, you can see, but no, it's a long distance. When you see it on the map, looks like it is, but it's not.
Near New Zealand, we have Papua New Guinea. So there's just a lot of places with Guinea in the name. What does Guinea mean?
Yeah. I don't know what it means. Never looked that. Well, I'm going to check that. Guinea. Guinea. I don't know what that means.
Sounds good.
I don't know. Ask myself. I'm going to check that out. Tomorrow.
So tell me, I'm gonna ask you to sing a little bit at some point, just because, oh gosh, I want to hear it. So I want to hear you sing Basque. But before we get there, so you speak English. I know you told me it's not my mother tongue. You're really good at it. You speak Spanish. You speak Basque. What else do you speak?
I can speak quite good French, and I was learning Polish. It's one of the most difficult languages in the world, and super beautiful and strong. Has like a big personality. It's beautiful Polish. And while I was in Japan, I always try to learn all the languages as much as I can, you know. So if I go to Japan, I start, well, it's difficult, Japanese, but I understand a lot and I can speak with my friends over there. Not much, but you know, but perfect. I can say that I speak Spanish, Basque, English, I manage, and the French. Portuguese, I understand because it's very similar. Italian, I understand. I could make it like easy. If I go there and I spend some time in Italy or whatever, I could learn it. And not much.
You know
My
what?
parents' language, I understand a lot, and I can speak like funk, but not much. And that's all.
That's amazing. You know what's incredible? In interviewing all these people from, you know, people who specialize in trauma therapy to people who specialize in somatic dance, writers, people who design systems, people who are specializing in international inclusivity, how to create equity, fair equity among people and systems that actually work and support the individual. There seemed to be this like theme, which was if people don't know what they would call their self or their essence, then it's very difficult to trust on a deep level because our identity from the things outside of ourselves are inevitably apt to change. Reality is not constant, as we've seen more than ever in the last 6 months. And so it's very cool to me. I think music almost like is a way to touch the inside of ourselves. It's almost like filling up the tube with the toothpaste. And so while some people would say, oh, you know, you lived somewhere where you were the only person in a sea of white and Basque and Latin people or whatever, and you moved so much, and people would say, I don't know how you do it, but you had this music. And as a result, you've gained 5 languages, stamps on your passport, a lot of cool outfits from fashion designers, and fans and friends all over the world, people who you can talk to. It doesn't matter if you speak 5 of those words because you can sing and the music transcends that.
Yeah, I never thought about it. But in all these things is because of I've been traveling because of the music, and I learned English with music, with songs. I have the lyrics. I didn't even speak English. Nobody speaks English here. It's like we don't need it, you know. But I've always been curious about languages and different cultures and different things. So with music, I started learning English, and I didn't even realize I was learning English. And I understood everything. It was just listen, repeat, singing. So my first contact with English was music.
What was it, Stevie Wonder or the Jackson 5? Who was it? What do you remember the first song?
The first song I remember is typical ABC, you know, from the Jackson 5. And we were the 3 of us with the big frost, you remember? And we say we were the Jackson 3. So we used to perform, we're not 5, we're 3, you know, the big frost, the little guys dancing, and all the choreographies and everything. Wow, that was awesome. I loved it.
So you have a brother, 2 brothers? 2 brothers, sisters?
We're 4, 2 brothers and 2 sisters. But that time my little sister, he wasn't born yet. He was like, he's 8 years younger than me. At that time, it was the 3 of us, my big brother, myself, and my sister. So we used to dance and sing. And
it's amazing, all these pieces. So your family came over to Basque Country, which, by the way, I mean, around the world, a lot of people don't even really know about Basque Country so much.
No.
And it's incredible. I'm just going to say, I remember when I was in Basque Country, one morning, I had just come from a tour in France, and it's, you know, between Spain and between France, and there's also French Basque Country, and there's the Basque Country in Spain, which confuses me because I'm like, it's its own country, but it's divided. It's not, is it the region?
Yeah, it's part of France, it's Basque Country also. And it's Iparralde is the north side, and Egoalde is the south part. That's in Basque.
Well, I was coming back to Bilbao, and it's just so beautiful. All of Basque Country. You have the ocean or the sea, and you have mountains, and you have these little villages, and the most incredible food. And the alphabet has X's in every word. There's an X. It's like so cool, everything. And it was early in the morning, and I was getting out of the car, and my jacket was like falling off. So my outfit was sort of messed up. And I felt somebody touch me. And usually if you're in a country and someone starts to like touch you from behind, I know for me, it's sort of like, whoa, what are you doing? So I turned around like this. There was two older women straightening my outfit for me to make sure I looked okay. And
you look perfect. Oh,
that's what I saw in Basque Country. I saw these older women. And because someone even told me that the women in Basque Country like usually outlive the men. Like there are a lot of like older women. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe it's true around the world. I'm not sure. But I would see in the morning when I would go out to like take a walk, these women just sitting so beautifully dressed on benches, just having conversations. And I thought to myself, when I am what I feel truly old woman, I am moving to the Basque Country because this is to be a beautiful old woman. And I just felt that sophistication, that beauty in the women in the Basque Country. Do you have any experience like that?
No, people here is different. They have a different beauty. I could say anywhere, it's like this guy is Basque, you know? You see 100 people, you know where they're from, and I said, this guy is Basque, or this woman. They have I don't know how to explain. It's like a different, I don't know, the nose, the face, the look in the eyes, the way they move. They're totally different. The women are like super tough, hard women, beautiful. When you see a beautiful girl, and then it's like, wow. It's like, oh, I don't know. The mix is like explosive. I love it.
Picasso painted in the Basque Country quite a bit, right? Picasso did?
What?
Didn't Picasso do a lot of his sketches in the Basque Country at some point? Do you know that?
No, I don't know about that. I know many things. I know some things about the Basque Country, but not many.
But the way you described it, it sounded like Picasso. It sounded like the full spectrum of female, which is so important because we've been trained in so many places in the world. Like, not to generalize, but in different parts of the world, women, even their voices are told to be pitched in different ways. Like, women just have different expression, and it's so lovely to see a woman that we would say, wow, that woman is so beautiful and graceful. And then the next minute, whoa, she's so intense and strong and scary.
Super strong. Not scary, but it's the way, like you say, okay, you see this beautiful girl, like well dressed and they're super sexy, but then you talk to her, it's not like, hi, you know, it's like, hi, yo, you know, what's up? Like with this attitude, the way they talk is like, wow, no? Intimidates.
I think I need to come back to Basque Country and get trained again to just be all the woman that I can be.
Oh my God.
Something that I think is very cool too when I was in Basque Country is I remember at the end of my concert, I asked somebody how to say thank you, and they told me, and I'm like, that's so cool. I'm like, that word sounds like you better watch out because I could kill you as well. So how do you say thank you? I'm trying to remember.
Eskerrik asko.
Yeah.
Eskerrik asko.
Eskerrik asko.
Eskerrik asko.
Eskerrik asko.
That's it. You got it. Eskerrik asko.
Doesn't it sound kind of like? Doesn't it sound sort of like you're welcome and don't fuck with me? Doesn't it? Eskerrik asko.
No, you know what I'm talking about when I told you that it's really hard. So how can you make thank you sound good when you say eskerrik asko in a song? How can you make that's my You know, I'm always trying to make it like sound sweet, and it's really scary. I don't know how to do it because it's really tough. It's all the time like chapurra, you know, sounds like whoa. It's really hard to make it tangle with the music.
Give you my opinion because I'm a linguist and I love X's and I love hard movements. So consonants give us power. It's like if we're driving, the consonants give us a wheel, we turn the wheel on the consonant because guess what? Consonants are where intimacy happens in the mouth. Vowels, everything's open. Ah, nothing touches. E, O, but consonants, you come together. Ka, ja, pa, ba. And mostly we think that we're pushing them out when we talk. Like, I'm so excited talking to you. I've talked over you. I'm not doing a great job.
Oh, that's good. It's good.
And also, though, the consonants, we often push them out. But if we decide that they can give us power and we can eat them instead of push them, it's like ba, da,
Wow.
ga,
Okay.
ma, ba, ba, not ba, but ba. So if you say escaragato, it's like you can eat it. And when you eat it, it'll feel good.
You eat it.
And if it feels good, it'll make other people feel good. So that's the only thing, right? When you feel good when you're singing, don't you notice everyone else is feeling good?
Yeah, that's it. I think people feel good. I'm feeling good lately. In the beginning was hard because I was singing English for the last 10 years. And then you come back and you have to sing in Basque again. It was like, oh my God. It was hard at the beginning, but now I have it. Everything's under control. And I'm feeling more comfortable, more comfy when I'm singing, when it comes to singing Basque. In the beginning was, oh, I don't think I can do this anymore, you know, after so long singing in English, Spanish, whatever, but not in Basque. Euskera. It's not the name Basque, it's Euskera.
Scared.
That's the name.
Scared.
Euskera.
So what gave you the confidence because that's the thing about being an artist. Like I was talking to a woman on this series who's a top jazz musician in New York. And I was like, what did you do when you feel like quitting? She's like, oh, wanting to quit is part of being a musician. Like, oh, that's interesting perspective. But what did
quit
in the moments when you were like, oh man, I'm back in Basque Country. I just had these amazing 7 years where you were often treated like royally, you know, like royal queen. And because you are a queen. And that's the thing about being a musician too. It's like we know we're all on level ground with everyone, our audience and everybody. It's like the best shows are when we're all just together. But still, sometimes in certain places as an artist, we're treated really well, and other times we're treated really badly. So we have to kind of have our own gauge, self-respect.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know how I do it. When I say, oh man, okay, I can't with this. I can't handle this situation because you know how it feels like having money, not having money, traveling this, a lot of crisis. I shouldn't be doing this because I am getting old, blah, 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 and the people is getting married. Sometimes I don't know where I take the energy from to say, okay, in the beginning I think I can't do one thing, then I go on stage or then I start writing and I start writing in Euskera and I start singing in Euskera. I don't know how that happens, but it's like, it happens even when you think it's not gonna happen. And that's the power of music. Is when you close your eyes and you think, okay, why did you get into this? Remember why you're here. And it's because I love it. And even if I have a bad day, the worst of the days, I go on stage or rehearsing or whatever. And then in the beginning, I'm like this. And then something's like, okay, Afri, come on, man. This is what you love. This is cool. This is the best job you can ever have. You need to enjoy it. And then I go up, boom, boom, and then, bah, I don't know yet. It's like sometimes I say, somebody's out there helping me out or doing like, boom, do it. And I do it.
Ooh.
Don't ask me what I don't know. I'm wondering like, wow, what's going on? What's going on out there?
Well,
It's
I love
cool.
that because it feels like whether it is some powerful God or extraterrestrial or yourself or your
Yeah,
the thing that's really cool about any of it, it's like aligning to commitment of our human selves, whether we're married to somebody we committed to because we love them, or whether we're married to music, or both, or whether we're into being like an IT specialist or whatever, a book writer, or wanting to, I work with a lot of people who want to create a big project. And the interesting thing is that we're told in this world somehow as women, even though our cycles are all over the place and we ovulate just for
yeah,
one day, and that one day we're like, yeah, there's a lot of aspects of our female being, and sometimes we're actually biologically positioned to be more refining and quiet and critical and rest. And that's hard when we're a performer anyway, but we're just not the same all the time. So our human
no,
self is going through all these things. So we show up and we just remember. We remember and we say like, why am I doing this? So we get curious and then we remember, wait, there's something in here. Even if right now I think it's because I can't do any other thing, or what is it? It's like you remember because you just take a step, one step,
that,
rather than being like, I've got to get to here. You just say, I got to get here, and you stay committed to your love. It's like you really wear this ring that said, hey, I signed up
that's
to commit to you.
commitment. I'm committed to music. It's my husband. It's like you were talking about getting married. I'm already married. I got married with music like 20 years ago, something like this. And it's gonna be forever. And sometimes I hate it, and most of the time I love it. So that's why I'm here, because most of the time I love it. And
Music's
it
a good
gives me
partner to you. Music loves you too. Music loves you. And one of the reasons I think music loves you so much, and this is interesting, is because you have touched all different kinds of music. You're not music biased. You're not like, oh, sorry, that's not music I sing, or this. If you love a music, you don't have to say I do this, I don't do this. You're flexible with music. So you're a good partner to music.
yeah, that's it. It's the best partner. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
willing. You're like, music, you sometimes you're late, you don't show up at all. One of my teachers who teaches Indian singing, he said to me this. He said, music is like a bad friend that you love. You show up every day for it at 11 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes music forgets to come, totally doesn't even call you. You show up the next day at 11, music comes but 30 minutes late, an hour late, and drunk, whatever. You show up at 11, music already came at 9 in the morning and left. And you just keep showing up at 11. And, that's interesting for me because I've been a guitarist for like 30 years. And 2 years ago, I stopped playing guitar for now. And
Wow.
it was right.
Really?
And the reason it was right is because I didn't quit music. Music it's in me and it's everything I'm doing. But
It's on you.
it's not on an instrument, and I'm taking that and I'm wanting to create more of an avenue for music to have a place that's not just outside of the center of systems and operations and organizations. I want people who are creating financial expression in the world to be creatively influenced, to know themselves, to know that music inside of themselves. I want the people in organizations to be musical, to realize they're composing larger systems, because we're getting more and more technological.
Wow.
And these technological nets are entities in themselves. I've been listening to a lot of technological experts and futurists lately, thinking about how we're moving into the future. And I think all musicians feel that. All musicians I've ever met around the world, there's a quality of when you love music, you love beyond time.
Yeah. You think so? I think I'm so curious about how can you get these people like business people, how can you make them connect with music, and how you do that?
Well, one of the main things is to think what creates music, right? Because music is a flower, but there's a whole body underneath it. And we can look a little bit at the theory to understand almost the philosophy. Music allows for harmony and discordance all in one song. If there's the right formula, there's the right like parent that's holding it, you can have a cry, you can have a laugh, all in the same song. So when we start to look at the principles of music, there's intellectual principles that are worth adapting. And then also we look at how we produce, particularly the voice, because it's our first instrument. So when I'm looking at music, I think, what are we playing? And almost everybody, not everybody, but most everybody has some sort of sound they make. And we have to realize that underneath that sound, if the sound is a flower, then underneath it is a whole body too. And that can be our breath. You know, when you get on stage, for example, and you're like, all right, in 5 seconds, you've got to just plug in. There are things you do. There's things you do to plug in. Breathe. What else?
The first thing I do always, well, first warming up the voice, is connect with my, I don't know, with my ancestors, whatever, because I have a really, sometimes I open my eyes and I say, man, what happened? I connect. So I like to listen to the music when the guys are playing, and then I go warming up. And then I open my eyes when I feel like warm enough, and then I connect with the people. So then I start moving and look into the people's eyes, in the eyes. So then I'm connected. I'm here, you're there, and then everything flows. And then I spread the energy. But first, I need to connect with myself. Then you look to the people in the eyes, and it's like, okay, you see a lot of things, beautiful things.
This is so, I'm so glad we got to this place. This is such a gift of a moment to bring. I really hope a lot of people get to hear this idea, because could you imagine if people who were working for like a giant corporation had that ability to connect to themselves? And so you connect to your ancestors.
That's my theory. That's what I feel, and I feel it. And it's like this. I need to connect to them, because the way I express myself comes, my movements and everything comes from Africa, you know? So then is that I connect, I take my suit off. You saw me, I need to be connected with everything, the floor, with everything. So I don't need any interruptions between me and the floor and me and the energy. Then when I feel this connection, I say that I connect with my ancestors, because it's like I think about my grandma. I think like, wow, okay, go. And then comes everything. Wow. I just think about my grandma and Africa, and I look up, and then, so it's like I'm calling. It's like, okay, I need your help. I need energy, especially when I feel like down, that I've been playing a lot, touring a lot, or I just don't feel like singing, because we have these days like, okay, man, I don't feel like, okay, but I have to. That's when I say, okay, I need energy, and then it comes, and I think, okay, grandma is coming. It's like, go do your thing. And then I just do it. It's so beautiful. It gives me like, it's beautiful.
And the cool thing is like how many people are showing up looking for energy from bureaucracy, from the system, from the government, from each other. Yes, those things are important, but if we don't have a connection to something that feels like bigger than that stuff, or deeper, or timeless, or centered to your essence, like you're connecting to all the parts of yourself, and then you can look at other people in their eyes, and you're not going to lose yourself.
Yeah, when you open your eyes, you feel different. It's not the same. Like everything changes. Like boom, I'm like, wow, I feel the power. So I can look at you like this, and yeah, you want to dance, and then I go to you. You don't even say to me, but you're saying it with your eyes, and then I go and I make you dance. But then I touch you. Sometimes I touch people, and I get people's energy too. It's like I'm singing and I touch someone or my friends or someone in the hands, and then it's like, okay, got it. It's like I steal energy from people when I need it.
Well, that's good because you do that because you know you have energy. You know that you're going to give it back. It's not like you're taking it and be like, later, you're digging it and you're
No,
giving it back to them.
I need it, but then I will give it back to you. I will make you dance. I will give you all. That's what I'm taking a little bit from here and from here, and then I give you all. I give it back and better. It's renewed, like fresh. And people just when they start dancing and smiling, and it's like you got it. It's the energy. It's your energy. I'm giving it back to you, but in a different way, like with you know.
So in a way, I mean, honestly, because I look at physics a lot, and we talk a lot in physics about as though I'm a physicist. They talk physicists, people who study science. They know that there's an electricity, an energy that's not biological. It's not chemical even. It's like electric in our body, and our voice and music. When we can connect to our heart and express that, and we connect to our heart by creating like body connection, then we can connect other people. So in a way, we're really just catalyzing. We're creating it's like you're kind of stirring the pot. And
that's it. And it's all about moving energies because the energy is there. And someone needs to control them. It's like a guru or something like this. Like, okay, you need this. I give you a spread energy in love and good. That's why I'm here for. That's how I feel it. Like I'm here. I'm not the best singer. I'm not the best woman ever. But I know that when I go on stage, I will make you have a good time. I'm sure of it, and that I can transmit everything I want to, and that you get it. That's all I need.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I see people, then it's like, yeah, you got it, bye. It's my work is done.
You got
Yes, bye, yes, you got it. But the people is like, yeah, you leave them. The beginning, some people is like this, and when you finish the gig, they are like, wow, and they come to you and say, thank you, thanks for the energy, Thanks for such a good energy. Oh, what a good energy. Everyone says the same. Everyone's talking about the energy, so it's real. The energy is real because they don't say, oh, you sing very good. No, they say, thanks for the energy. And that's why I love it. I give them the energy. So it's beautiful.
You're a living scientist. You're like a living laboratory technician.
Black roots. Like my grandma used to be like a little bit, I'm so connected to energies. I have these feelings and I have a lot of things and I know this, I need to control them because sometimes it's too much energy.
That must be why I'm so excited talking to you even. I'm really sensitive. And for most of the interviews, I've been able to remain like very poised and, oh yes. And I'm just like, blah, blah, blah.
That's where we talk. That's the only way I know you. Like always, yeah, singing in good energy because you have a very good energy. It's beautiful. That's like, yeah, and I feel it. We feel it. We feel each other.
Nice energy. It's so great. And so I want to talk about something that I think is really important because I think that what's happening right now with Black Lives Matter here in New York City and in the whole world is giving everyone, especially those of us who are like ready for just peeling off whatever layers are here and having connection to look at these things. And so everything that you've said, even it's like when you talk about going to your ancestors, I think about when I would go on stage and I would connect to something that felt very big too. And in a way, I'm like, I think I might have been connecting to your ancestors. Like, is that okay? Because so much of my feeling and my ability to feel and music and what I've hungered for has come from Black culture. And that's such an interesting topic, and I know that there are a lot of sensitivities that we all have about them, and that Black people obviously and rightfully so have about, you know, what we might call cultural appropriation. Or I mean, how do you feel right now? Can you share a little bit about your experience in the last month? Like, what's come up for you? Have you been able to reflect differently about even growing up in Basque Country by yourself as like one of the only Black people?
Well, I thought about this, yeah, and many people from newspapers and the TV, they contact me to talk about this. And then it's like I say, man, it's a good thing what's going on with all the things, Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah. But this been happening like, it's been there for 400 years. The Black people has been like oppressed, like killings, everything, and most of the things that we could ever imagine, because this happened before the Instagram, internet, and all these things. It's been like this forever, since the slavery, inequality. You know this. You're American, you know it better than me.
You're talking about system injustice, police brutality. These things have been happening forever.
400 years. People killing each other, police killing, police brutality has been there always, and mostly to the Black people. I don't mean that all lives matter, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know the all lives matter, but now we're talking about Black people that's been suffering for 400 years in the States and the whole world. And I have suffered, not like the way these American people do, these Black people do in America, but I have my own experiences, and I can say that the world is racist and homophobic, and this fat phobia. The world is fucked up, you know. And right now, it's happening with the Black communities. I hope that the Black community gets together and stop the things, you know, the things about killing each other, blah, blah, and there's like more love, and we unite with white people. We unite all against racism and these stupid things that I don't know. I don't know. But it's like, yeah, I was thinking about, wow, being Black is hard. It's a hard thing. It's like nobody likes Black people, but then everyone wants to listen to hip hop and blah, 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 and wear and twerk and these things for, you know, yeah, sisters, like, come on, man. But then they don't like us, but they take our culture for, it's a weird thing. I don't know. I don't like to talk about this either. Because it's very complicated, and I'm not speak. I need to speak this in my language, you know, to make it more clear. It's not in English. I can't communicate. I can say everything I could say in Spanish or in Euskera.
I can imagine. I mean, I appreciate even your reflection there, because I think too, I feel that a lot with everything political. I think when I first meet someone, or if, you know, I was sort of, and I wonder if it's been the right thing all along. I think because the process is so delicate and sensitive. It's like a piece of music that's a lot of nuances. It's like, oh, well, this is what that piece of music is about. 400 years. Boom. No, it's it's really hard to go into all the nuances, and so I even appreciate what you shared, and it reminded just a little bit me. It reminds me of when I was studying with a beautiful Native American teacher that really formed my life, changed my life totally. And when I was studying with him, a woman who was married to like one of the main tribe members, but they lived outside of the reservation, the Native American reservation. She said she was white, but because she was married to a Native American person, I think she basically summarized things that a lot of chiefs had been saying, and Native people had been saying to white people. You took our land, then you took our woman, then you took our freaking buffalo. Now you're taking our spirituality. Oh, you took our earth resources. And now you want to take our, like, I have it right there, sage, you know, I burn sage. And I recognize when I do that, you know, it's not from my lineage, but it's one that speaks to my soul. And that's an interesting piece for me. A year and a half ago, I stopped performing, which is crazy. I never thought I would. but I really did for a while, for a little while, at least for now. And when I think about how many tributes to jazz I've done with bands where there were either no Black people in it or very few, and even though I hungered for more, I wanted more diversity always. That's why I moved to Europe, because I just wanted more to connect more people beyond our divisions, because music is what connects us.
Yeah.
And music is what connected me on my record in 2008. I made, there was someone playing like, you know, from like 6 or 7 different continents. And I wanted that, you know, experience, because that's where I could feel the heart, where we aren't like hanging out because we're all the same, but we're hanging out because we all want to connect. And we know that we have to have a sense of self in order to, I mean, it's just interesting. We share where we're from. We maintain a part of our energy through our music and identity, and then we can see what we create together that's the same. And it's fun because what's the same and what's different. But all that being said, I've just been very aware in the last couple of weeks, even like when someone says like, sup, and they're like a white person, and I realize, you got that language from Black culture. And then I realized how much of my language I get from Black culture. And then I'm like, what am I
gonna do? To have myself. No, yeah, it's like this. And the Native Americans, that's another story. They took their lands, and it's like they don't want them. They put them apart, and I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really crazy. If you really think about it, these people say, "Get out of my land, go back to where you belong." And say, "Wait, the fuck, where are you coming from? You don't even know where they're coming from." I mean, the American people, is the Native Americans. Stop.
No, I know. So
if we start saying these things, come on, man. Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on.
And that's the thing too, is that I always come back to a place where one of my teachers, who's actually a Black man raised by white parents, anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's like I would have never said that like last week. I think about people. I try not to describe people by the color of their skin.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, you know. Oh, which girl are you talking about? Okay, the Black girl. It's okay, you know. It's okay. I get it. I understand. It's normal, especially here. Which is this girl? Okay, the black girl. Okay, I know who you're talking about. The girl with long hair, the beautiful girl with big boobs, the girl with that's, you know, you want to make. In a good way. It's not good when you say, yeah, you know, the Black girl. It's like, yeah, it's like the perspective of the nigger. It's like, oh no, that's not cute.
But I remember
just talking about people. We're all people. We're the
true.
same.
And I remember, so I was thinking like, there are interesting couple of things in this. I mean, there are many things that are really fascinating in this whole piece, but my teacher, who I was referring to just recently by the color of his skin, he said that, and this was, I think, something he got from a religious text. He said, like, speak what you love, and leave the rest alone. And so for me, I know that anyone who's listening to this series is probably not going to be listening for political advice or even like opinions. They're going to be listening for, how do we trust ourselves? And I think part of that's even just right now in this conversation that we're having. I'm like, okay, what do I want to say? What makes sense? But I think the thing that for me that's always worked is to try to be aware and try to align my values with what feels true to me now and into the future, and to seek what I love and to give that back. And when I hear you talk about how you perform on stage, that sounds like how important it is for you to tap into what you love. And music really, it's like a way to rake out all this total, and it's just like, oh, I mean, music saves us, don't you think? I mean,
it's all about soul. if you listen to jazz, soul, blues, and all this music, like music made by, I don't know, but pain, when you feel like, okay, I want to go back home, I have to work, and blah, blah, blah. And that's the way we connect. That's the way we connect with ancestors, with home, with your soul, with your feelings, emotions. And then you play, and you sing like you were crying, and you sing to make people happy, to forget about problems. And then you make this type of music. That's why we dance, and that's why we're so connected to music, for a good way, in a good way, in a bad way. You know, it's like to make a, mostly it's like when you want to express something and you want to take something out of your body. When it's pain, it can be pain, it can be love, it can be passion, but you take, wow, take it away, you take it out and spread it, and share. And that's why you sing, listen to blues, it makes you, wow, it's music made with soul, with the soul. It comes from here, you know, from this part. And then you sing it, you close your eyes and sing. You know, most people, when black people, when we listen to music, what we do, we close our eyes. And we just feel it. You just feel it. Let it get into you. And then, yeah, I take it out with the movement. It's like, woo, you know, it's like a celebration. That's it. That's why I need to connect.
And it's so strong. It's so strong, and it's been in all Black culture for so long, and in African culture for so long. And it was so strong that no one, I mean, I'm going to generalize, but no one said like, oh, I shouldn't move like this. Oh, I shouldn't do this. Oh, I shouldn't let my hips move. People were like, no, when music gets in you, like the album, Mingus's album, Gotta Get It in Your Soul. But I just changed the I just it doesn't matter. But I mean, you gotta get it in your soul, and then once it's there, I mean, haven't you seen people who like are playing and they're just like do 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 do, and maybe they're like really great technically, they're like, but it's just like the same. It doesn't feel like they're releasing anything. Maybe it just feels like they're kind of
like super cold. Like, okay, you play good, you do it, but you don't feel it. I know a lot of good musicians, good singers, and dancers and whatever, but there's some people that you see and you say, he's feeling it, he got it. Even if he's not doing like, oh no, but just some point you say, you know, when someone is feeling, when it's real, makes you.
So interesting, because now I'm thinking about how music was such a feeling thing for me when I was little. And then I grew up a lot in the southern part of the States. And I remember at some point around 28, people in the music industry kind of trying to promote packaging. And they didn't know how to do it. They're like, there weren't that many women at that time performing their own music at that point. You know, now it's like all women. It's amazing, but very different scene. And I think I thought so much from the outside in that when I would perform, there was slightly a sense of like, how am I supposed to move? Because if I was going to move how I really do, well, first with the guitar, I could move because I had this instrument we were dancing together. But if it was up to me and you wanted to see how music moves me, I'd be like, what? I like that. Like, I would just be all over the place. And then I would be like on the ground being like, oh, you know? Like, and no one would be dancing, Africa. No one would be like, people would be like.
I can't imagine you. Actually, we've been connected to at some point, like with music, and you start doing like, you know, things like this with the hands, and you close your eyes. I saw you connected in Barcelona twice.
And
wow.
Still, like, I like to connect to sound and space. Like, that's the thing, though. I really love what you said about you open the eyes and you can be with people. For me, that's one of the most challenging places as a performer, because I'm so connected to space and like architecture that I'm almost playing with the space we're all making together. But sometimes it's so vulnerable. It's so vulnerable to look while you're sharing, look in the eyes. And I think that's something that you actually get. I mean, I'm going to just generalize and let me know, but from your ancestors, because you have this freedom to say, no, music gets in you and you feel it. And that allows you to trust that you are on earth.
That's it. It's like this. It's just when you feel it, you feel this strength and you feel powerful. I don't know how to explain this feeling, because I don't know how to explain it. Nobody had it. It's like you feel the power, so you can look to the people in the eye because you feel like you can do it. I don't know how to explain. That is not bad. It's not a bad thing. You're doing it for good, and then you look and you talk. You start a conversation just with the eyes and then with the body, you know. And there's these people, these really shy women, that they really want to dance, but they won't never do it because they don't like people watching them. And then they're asking you with the eyes, I want to dance. Take me to dance. I can do it without you. I need your help. And she's saying it with the eyes. And then I go to her and it starts like this, but in the eyes she's telling me, yes, yes, it's continuous. She's allowing you to touch her. I don't go to someone and touch him, but no, and look like this. No, I go, and then I see eye contact and this, and then say, okay. And then I go to you, or if it's a baby, a kid, I go to them and I make this, and they, you know, it's like interaction with the people. And then you know what you can do to the girl, you give it the hand, and she grabs your hand, and then she dances. And you start dancing. And you make her feel like a queen. You dancing, everybody's watching you. I'm here, you know? And then they feel like sexy, and you make them feel good, and they love it. But they will never say, I want to dance. There's some people that just, and start dancing. But some other people is waiting for you to take them out, to take them, you know? Because they are like, and they look at you like this, and then you go, and then, okay, and then they dance. And they never stop again. They're like, so, oh my God. They start dancing, they never stop. And that's a communication. There's a respect. There's a communication. I talk to the people just looking at them in the eyes like, oh, and I say, okay, I won't go there. She don't like me. I know people that don't like me. Don't want me to touch them. Don't like what I'm doing. They're like this. I say these people too. I don't go there. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to, you know, it's your space. If you allow me to get in, I go in. If not, it's okay. There's more people to touch and dance with. You know, you see a lot of things when you dance and you go and you get lost in the people. It's like, wow, you see a lot of things. A lot.
This is a good lesson. This is such a good lesson. And this is, you know, you asked me, how do you give music to institutions? I mean, this is it. But how many times I know as a woman have I been like, this is always what happens to me. I can be in a room where I know 99 of the 100 people are like so excited about whatever it is I'm helping to support, right? And my attention will go to that one person who isn't liking it. And I'll feel like, oh, their energy took over and we were energetically at war. Where I'm trying to impress them, to get them to like me, and get them to like me. And now I'm hearing you, and I'm like, wait a second. The more we are ourselves, like, and that self isn't like, well, I'm Leslie, and I believe in this and that. It's like, okay, I'm connected, and I'm feeling. I'm in this body, so I feel I'm here, and I get a sense like, when you're connected, you feel good. And so you kind of know in a way that like life is good, because if when we're connected to it, we feel good or we feel alive, and that informs our values. Like I can't imagine anybody who would be like killing a lot of people or something to actually have that sense of feeling in their body, you know, like that feeling. It tells you, like you said, it tells you kind of what to do. And then you respect yourself, so that if there's one person or 10 people, or even 9 of the 10 people that are like, you are weird or whatever, then you respect them. You respect their space. And
Of
you know,
course,
try to, and that
of course.
would be such a good lesson for so many people to have. Like, how many times do we see, for example, in dating, where the woman always goes for the guy who's like doesn't really care or is a jerk? And what if she actually went for the guy who was like, "Hey, I want to dance with you."
That's it. It would be great. No, it's like, I don't know, man. When you talk about trust, I think everything is about trust and being natural, being yourself. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. Because when something is fake, you feel it, and you can, it can go well for a while, but never ends good. It's like it's not real. You have to be real. People like it, okay. If they don't, it's okay too.
I love it.
They have the
Two more
not
questions
like.
before I know it's getting late for you and you've had a long night of rehearsal last night. So I really appreciate this time you're giving us. Really. I mean, you are, it's interesting as you talk. I'm like, oh, you're a musician, but you're a healer. You heal. That's what you do. Like, you're healing. You're so energized. I don't want to define you. I don't like defining people, but you have you're just such a good being on this planet. Thank you. And so
Thank you.
my question for you is, first, was there ever a time where, you know, you wanted something artistically, or you felt like you had a performance and you did too much and you shouldn't have done so much, or you were too much or something as a performer, and then you had to sort of make peace afterwards and say, no, it's okay, I love myself anyway. Like, it's okay, I got upset at this concert, or I moved like this, or I didn't get this job. Like, how do you find yourself again? Because we all have to lose ourselves sometimes, right? I mean, that's how it
We do. Lately, I'm like cool with myself. Lately, it's been a hard work because I have my, up and downs. But yeah, I had these times that I went off stage and say, oh man, I didn't sing very much. I didn't sing good. Or did I move? I was like, no, I didn't give 100%. And my guys say, no, Afri, it was cool. I say, no, I don't feel like. And then I watch a video and I say, well, okay, it was not that bad, But this sensation that you could have done more and you didn't. But you see people that it's okay, but I don't like this feeling. And then in the next gig, I try to give more and more. But then the moment I say, man, you're giving 200% most of the time. So you can be all the time like, wow, there. I'm a human, But I think like I ask a lot to myself when I'm on stage. I always want to be perfect, and you can be perfect every day and all the time, and that's what I'm learning. And then when I'm not perfect, and sometimes I say, today I have a bad day. Last night I went out, I like blah blah blah, and then I connect to the people and I let them know that maybe it's not the best gig ever, but there will be more, I don't have a good day, and then I ask them, how's it going? They say, yeah, I love it. Yeah, do you know it's cool? Yeah, go on. Okay, thank you. I do like this. When I'm not good, I say it.
Wow.
I'm not feeling very good. I'm going to try to do this good. I hope you enjoy. We're going to do this all together. I need your energy, please. And then say, come on, I need energy. Please clap. And then they make noise. And you go playing and you do these things. I am me, this myself. This people say you shouldn't say this. They wouldn't notice. I say, I like people to know. I am that I'm tired, that I'm not in the, I like to communicate with people. And they love it because you treat them like people, not like the audience. They're sitting there and you play. No, I talk to them. And when I do something wrong, did you realize that I say it? I was out of tune. Sorry about that. Oh, it was not the time. Sorry about that. They laugh. They see you as a human, and they laugh. And then it was a good, perfect, and you start talking to the people. It's so funny. I love it.
That is
love it.
so cool, because I think too that, I mean, I'm just like going back now to when I learned about like how tribes operate, is that people aren't just like, okay, I've shown up, we live together, and I'm only going to show up perfectly. It's like there's actually strength in being who you are, and there's a connection I see, at least from my studying like earth-based tribe, like people who have come from culture that was based in like tribal connection and living together, and even community. To kind of say, hey, you don't just show up when you're perfect. We embrace all of it.
That's it.
When I was in Barcelona and I had a friend, oh man, he was so awesome. I met him because I was in one of my favorite people. She's Berber, and she has this incredible place called Saltario in Barcelona. Did you ever go there?
Wow.
So good. It's like sourdough Berber. It's like a Berber version of pizza. It's so good from the desert lands of Morocco. And anyway, she's an amazing woman, and she sings. And we don't speak the same language. I mean, my Spanish is not that great. Her Spanish is probably better than mine, but she sings in these old Berber songs. And she would sing, and I could feel her, and I would sing with her. I would get into her melody because she'd be like, and I would just be like,
wow.
And it was just like these desert songs. And she would say to her friend, hey, this is about when my sister used to put henna in my hair when I was a little girl. And I would be like, oh, it was so cool. In this place, these people from all over the world would come and just hang out. And sometimes one would open up their instrument just because. And so there was a guy there playing guitar one day, and he was so good. And so I sat down. He was from Mali, and I mean, he was such a good. He was from Timbuktu, and he played almost like Ali Akbar Khan. That's from anyway, this really great guitarist. Forgetting not Ali Akbar Khan at all, but anyway, so he's playing guitar, and I start singing, and we just became friends, but we spoke no language. We were translating. This happened. You use Google Translate, and we're like, let's play tomorrow at your house. I'm like, I'm there. Just tell me you're in town.
Cool.
So I go to his house, and he lives in a really small room, and he has like 2 or 3 or 4 friends that are staying with him. And I told him like I live alone, and he was like, are you sick? What's wrong with you? Because in his culture, you don't want to live alone. Like, you don't want to be alone because your community is so important to you, and there's not that discomfort so much in like. This was for him, from growing up in Mali, and he had so much more ability to like hang out and share himself. And I realized that I was lacking that ability to just be me and to trust that it would be okay. And he had that from always having that from the time he was little.
Wow.
Yeah.
Many
I think there's a lot of, there's a lot that not only do people who don't come from that lineage have to learn about the last 400 years, but there's a lot from the many thousand years before that is medicine for all of us, I think.
It is. So good. Leslie.
That you shared your medicine with me today.
I'm happy.
And I'm going to ask.
So good to see you.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to ask you. I know that you told me before we started that you're singing like traditional songs that have been in English, and you're singing them in Basque. So can you give me an example of one of them, like one that we would know? The
traditional songs is my music. But I just compose, I write my songs, like the lyrics in euskera. I play like soul, rhythm blues, hip hop, or whatever, black music in euskera, which never it's been done here, because there's a specific type of music they used to play and listen to. And it makes it weird and special. There is soul and R&B, and they're like, wow, in euskera, Nobody did that before. That's what I'm doing it. I'm trying to teach people different music and my culture and my inspiration, where it comes from, what I listen to, the music I listen to. You always listen to it in English, never in Euskera. That's what I'm doing.
Can you, how many songs have you written in Euskera?
I have one album. I already wrote an album, and now I have 4 songs. I'm working on another 2 songs in Euskera, and I'm writing, looking for the inspiration, and I need to put a little bit of order in my life. After all this, of the quarantine and blah, 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 COVID, I was a little bit confused. I didn't know what to write. I was blocked. I've been like, wow, for 1 month, a lot of information, a lot of things going on. I didn't understand anything. So when it came to write, something was like, I couldn't write anything. I say, okay, it will come. So I leave it. I just make the music, and the lyrics will come. I'm more focused on the rhythm, composing, making music, basses, and this and this. And then one day it will come and I write in Euskera. And I have my music on internet, Spotify, to make an idea. If you want YouTube, I have a video clip.
Yeah, I'm going to put links to all of that. What is the best social media outlet for us to find you? What do you think? Spotify, your website, like
Spotify, SoundCloud, yeah. And on YouTube, you can buy the CDs also. And I don't know more. No, just not more. Not yet. I have a lot of work to do. I'm a lazy girl when it comes to do all these things, the office thing. I'm more like I prefer to dance, sing, rehearse, but open a Spotify account, do this, and emails, and that's not for me. I have to do it, but I don't like it. I enjoy much more doing all this stuff. Music, just music.
Before we go, and if you say no, that's okay because I can edit it out. But do you think before we go, you might just give us a little bit of a rhythm and then sing us a couple lines in Euskera so we can hear?
I don't know if you noticed that I don't have a voice. I'm pretty okay. What can I sing?
You can always try, and if you don't like it, I'll cut it out. You can tell me later.
To see how it sounds, right? No akaleti gawayunada idatzen noa bakarri ez dut oraindik norabide finkoti zugandik urruntzean da nere helburu bakarra. It's like this. That's Euskera. It's like we need the bass and boom, boom. But it's something like this.
I can feel
Today,
it.
I had a good day. I'll be like 4 hours rehearsing. And last night also, because we have a gig on the 3rd of July, so I have to work.
Wow.
We lost a lot of time while the lockdown.
I've been making you talk, so I should let you go so you can drink water. So I will end our interview here for now. I hope that more and more people get to hear you speak about music. Actually, I hope that even though I know interviews aren't very much your favorite thing, as you said, I truly appreciate so much that you made time on a Sunday to, speak with me. And I'm so looking forward to sharing this with people. You're such a treasure in the world. And thank you so much, Afrika Bibang.
Pleasure, Leslie. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Eskerrik asko.
Eskerrik asko.